They say fraud and deceit have been practiced since the beginning of history, but technology has amplified the scope and reach of these acts. And scammers are artists of exploitation, painting fear and urgency on the canvas of the unsuspecting mind. Imagine answering a seemingly ordinary phone call only to find yourself accused of a crime you didn't commit. The voice, on the other hand, stern and authoritative, claims to be law enforcement, threatening immediate arrest unless you comply with their demands. Fear grips you, and in the haze of panic, you hand over your savings or personal information. This isn't a plot from a thriller. It's the horrifying reality of digital arrest scams, a sophisticated form of cybercrime, exploiting fear and trust in the digital age. Today, we delve into this deceptive trap, exploring how it works, why it succeeds, and how we can protect ourselves and others from falling victim. So how do these scams work? It usually starts with an unsolicited phone call, email, or even a video call. The scammers impersonate law enforcement officials, complete with fake IDs, uniforms, and even simulated office backgrounds. With the rise of voice cloning software, scammers are now able to mimic real officials or even family members to enhance their believability. They create a sense of urgency, using threats of arrest or legal action to push their victims into panic. Often they demand payments via unconventional methods like gift cards, cryptocurrency, or direct bank transfers. So what are the consequences of these scams? The consequences of these scams are devastating. Let me share an example. In one case, a young professional received a call from someone claiming to be a tax official. Convinced by the official's tone and urgency, she ended up transferring thousands of dollars. The financial loss was crushing. But the emotional toll, the fear, embarrassment, and stress was even more profound. Studies show that such trauma often leaves victims with long-term trust issues, emotional distress, and difficulties recovering financially. So why do people fall for these scams? For one, many victims are unaware of such scams exist. Scammers exploit a universal psychological phenomena, and that is fear overrides rational thinking. This fight or flight response, combined with the false authority presented by scammers, clouds judgment, even in highly educated individuals. The professionalism of these fraudsters, with their convincing props and scripted dialogues, can make them appear legitimate. Scammers also exploit data breaches, using stolen personal information to make their threats more credible. Social media too plays a key role. Scammers often study their victims' profiles to personalize their approach, making their tactics even harder to detect. So how can we identify these scams? Watch out for these warning signs. Unsolicited calls or messages claiming you under investigation. Demands for immediate payment to avoid arrest or deportation. Requests for payment through gift cards or other unconventional methods. Threats that escalate if you hesitate or question the claims. If you receive such a call, remember these steps. Stay calm. Don't panic. Scammers feed on fear, and maintaining composure is your first line of defense. Verify the claims by contacting the official agency directly using the official contact details. So what is the global impact of these scams? Digital arrest scams are not isolated incidents. They are a global menace. In 2023 alone, impersonation scams cost victims over $1.3 billion in the US, with older adults accounting for over $770 million of these losses. In India, over $14.5 million was lost in just 4 months of 2024, with scammers leveraging video calls to create more convincing deceptions. Phishing, a related tactic, accounted for over $44 million in global losses in 2021, targeting half of all reported cybercrime victims. So what is being done globally? Global efforts to combat digital arrest scams are led by advocates like the Cyber Peace Institute, Global Anti-Scam Alliance, and Cybercrime Support Network, alongside investigative figures such as Brian Krebs and authors like Kevin Mitnick. These entities raise awareness, offer victim support, and educate on scam detection, while tech companies like Microsoft and financial institutions develop AI-powered tools to prevent fraud. Law enforcement agencies like Interpol, Europol, and the FBI work internationally, dismantling scam networks and advocating for stricter laws. By uniting psychological insights, advanced technology, and global collaboration, these advocates drive the fight against scams, empowering individuals and communities to resist and recover. Operations like First Light 24 have dismantled large-scale scam networks, arresting thousands and seizing millions in illicit assets. But technology too can be a powerful ally. AI and behavioral biometrics are emerging tools to detect and prevent fraud, offering hope in the fight against these schemes. So what are some notorious scams? Here are some notorious scams like the RS tax scam in the United States and the CRA scam in Canada exploit fears of unpaid taxes, while India's fake police arrest calls and Singapore's fake arrest scams target victims with threats of legal action. Sophisticated operations like the Telugu call center scandal impersonate Microsoft support, and AI-driven voice cloning scams in Germany highlight the use of advanced technology to deceive. Global tactics include Japan's Wangiri phone scam, Australia's Operation Chokehold, and Europe's fake court summons scam, while student visa scams prey on international students and romance arrest scams exploit emotions to defraud victims. These schemes underscore the universal nature of digital fraud and the need for global vigilance. Books like The Art of Deception by Kevin Mitnick and The Confidence Game by Maria Konnikova delve into the psychology and tactics of scammers, while Spam Nation by Brian Krebs and Future Crimes by Mark Goodman expose the mechanics of global fraud networks and cybercrime. Films such as Catch Me If You Can and The Tinder Swindler showcase real-life and dramatized con artists exploiting trust and vulnerabilities, while documentaries like The Great Hack and Social Dilemma explore the role of data manipulation in modern scams. From psychological insights to investigative reporting and cinematic storytelling, these resources illuminate the complexities of scams, offering valuable lessons in awareness, protection, and resilience against deception. So what can we do? Protecting ourselves also involves spreading awareness. Educate our friends and family, especially vulnerable individuals like the elderly who are often targeted. Share the warning signs and encourage them to question suspicious calls or messages. If you do encounter a digital arrest scam, report it immediately. Organizations like the Cyber Peace Institute, Global Anti-Scam Alliance, and others offer resources and advocacy to combat digital scams. Reporting not only helps authorities track and prevents such scams, but also protects others from falling victim. Finally, this issue goes beyond individuals. It affects society as a whole. These scams undermine trust in digital communication and prey on a reliance on technology. However, technology also offers tools to combat fraud. Governments, tech companies, and individuals must work together to educate, innovate, and legislate. As cybersecurity expert James Scott once said, "In the digital world, you can never be too cautious. Vigilance is your greatest ally against deception." So, let us stay vigilant, foster empathy for victims, and unite to build a digital world where trust triumphs over fear. Together, we can dismantle these networks of deception and ensure a safer future for all.